This is the American Worker.
This episode of American Worker is presented by Modern Mechanics, family owned for over 70 years, with shops in Elma, Lansing, Midland, and Mount Pleasant. Whether it's tires for the adventures ahead or repairs that keep you on the road when it matters most, the work means more at Modern Mechanics. Find your drive in the links below.
Jordan Munsters of Bridgestone Americas, right?
Bridgestone Americas, yes.
Beto?
I think a little bit still this day. There's a little bit of a heart there for it.
Take us back to the rubber industry.
Oh, man.
And maybe you guys' first interaction.
Oh, that was a fun one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like tire tech, moved up to executive through Bridgestone, like kind of moving in that trajectory. Freaking awesome company. God, they treated me so good. Still to this day, it's like just amazing how much opportunity they gave me.
And you were at the Firestone company stores, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
servicing cars, pickups.
Yeah. Started off as it's funny, I was a L1 master tech with a college degree, and I was making 13, 15 hours of basically changing tires. Just was like, I'll take this job until, something else opens up type of thing. And it was 11 years later I left the company to start this. But they really helped me see things in myself that I didn't see and gave me the opportunity to lean into that. Never gave me the answers to anything to it. They gave me the challenge, and cool. I like that. So worked up through the retail operation stuff, moved around the country with the family to get into like more of a leadership role. Oversaw 14 stores, I think it was, through like the northern Chicago suburbs all the way down to Springfield, Decatur. I think that was the furthest south I went. After a while, they'd sent me all around the world for meeting with the different executives. There was this thing they called Advanced Frontline Leaders.
Ooh, you were on the front lines.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. They would pick 30 people from all the different, so one person per division, and they had 30 divisions. So you've got, roofing, building materials, warehousing, logistics, rubber production, whatever. So they chose me from the retail operations, which was they had, I think, 147,000 people in that. So that was pretty cool.
That's incredible.
I was 28 years old. And so they traveled me around the world working with different leaders in the different divisions to gain an enterprise perspective with a Harvard business professor.
Wow.
It was freaking awesome. Everybody I met was just wonderful people. And they gave me the tools and education to move forward. And they said, what we would love is the storyline, tire tech to CEO.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm like, cool, I'm on board for that game. Let's go. And so I was in retail doing really well with that stuff. Family wanted to come back to Michigan. And it just so happened that the Michigan district opened up. They had restructured, and the president of retail operations, I was talking with him. It was actually the day they restructured. I was supposed to close on the house in Chicago.
Oh.
And I literally walked up. He does the announcement. There's 2,300 people in the crowd and whatnot. And I walked up to him like, we got to talk. And so he called a bunch of my mentors and stuff and people who had moved me up. And he's like, yep, you're good. We're going to put you in a position with actually more autonomy and things. And so when the Michigan market opened up, he was like, hey, we don't want to go to Michigan. It's cold and not fun. So we're going to put you there so we never have to. Got it. So went there, killed it. Just I took over. Most of the people that worked for me were people that taught me. They were all my mentors. They were all the educators. They were the ones that advised me as I grew. These guys were just incredible people. So I inherited a team of just absolute killers. And so came to Michigan, did what I did with every group. I was like, okay, guys, you know what you're doing. What do I got to get out of your way? And they're like, this. Cool. I'm going to get to work. You guys do your thing. As soon as I got those done, came back, okay, what next? And my job was to work for them. And it grew like crazy. Because, these guys had been doing it longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
When you say it grew like crazy, this is like the territory.
Yeah, retail operations in that area.
And it was all of Michigan? It was...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Which, really...
How many Firestone company stores are there in the state of Michigan
at the time
that you're overseeing
31.
at this time?
Okay. Wow.
31 stores?
I think that's what it was.
And
There's
you're
more
about...
stores than your age.
31.
Yeah.
That's
it, yeah. Because I think because I left for High Caliber at 31. No, so actually I was still under 30. I'd have been about 28 at that time.
Wow.
Because I came to commercial products. So we did great. Number 1 growth district in the country by miles. I was actually kind of bored. Like I was working like 25, 30 hours a week because like I just didn't have stuff to do and I need to stay out of these guys' way. If I showed up at their stores, their employees got nervous. It's like, hey, I'll just get out of the way. You guys do your thing. As long as the numbers are there, whatever. And these guys in the same time were teaching stuff to me that, those valuable lessons. I remember calling one up as like, this is the lessons that you can't just like learn. You got to have mentors. I called up one of my store managers and I was like, hey, corporate is telling me I need to do all these things that I know aren't right, but I've got to make it look like I do. How do you do that to me? How do you make me think that you're doing what I ask you to do while doing what you actually are supposed to do? And he just laughed and he explained it to me. And he's like, be positive, be super supportive with it, let you see a little glimmer of it, and then as soon as you turn your head, I go back to work with what needs to be done. Thank you. That was the wisdom of the team that I had working for me. And so didn't have a lot of work with it. So I started Modern Mechanics at that time. Automotive repair shop. I was a L1 Master Tech. I had all the tools, equipment, all that stuff. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll just work on cars. And I have a 3,600 square foot shop that I was doing it in. And really it kind of started off just for fun to take care of stuff. Actually, it was probably your Camaro kind of started that. When I did all the work on the Camaro, it was like, well, I could actually do this for fun or more often.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Which one?
That was the 70 Camaro.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact challenge I was going through, but like, I'm not a mechanic. I'm mechanical.
Sure.
And it was something about like I think we needed to put a new cam in it or something like that.
Yeah, something heads maybe.
Yes, it was a heads and cam.
Yeah.
Because my guy Dino Don did a heads and cam. It had the LS2 in it.
Yeah.
I did not know how to do that. Our shops were too busy. That was really kind of, you and I were just getting to know each other a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, who can help me? And I was like, well, Jordan, it seems like he probably knows how to do this
Well,
stuff.
it's kind of a product that we were going to work on together, but I'm just impatient, so I just kind of dove into it.
Hey, Tony, it's almost done.
You were like, well, just bring it down. And yeah, it was the next day. He's like, okay, come down tonight. I think it's, pretty much done.
Well, we did transmission work. We had the.
I think we put a new clutch in it.
We did the. I think we did a twin disc, didn't we? McLeod twin disc on that.
Twin or triple,
yeah,
whatever it was, but.
It was really cool. I got to use somebody else's money to do cool things with cars. That was really nice for a change.
Yeah, you're like, this is a dream come true.
Yeah, literally, I like just playing with that stuff. And at the end of the day, it's for F-body people, which, we're kind of fast forward into meeting Tony. But anyways, like, I started this automotive repair shop thing. And the thing is like, I had the ability to burn a candle at both ends with a blowtorch for a long time.
Yeah.
And the business grew really fast. And so the company, actually, Bridgestone knew I was doing this. And they were like, hey, your results are there. We don't care. You just keep hitting those numbers. So I was working 7 days a week, probably 15 to 18 hours a day because it was just fun. Didn't have any concern. Trying to figure out what to do with the money and everything. But ultimately, the whole idea was going to be someday I'm going to open up a go-kart track with my friends. And I remember the point of where, like...
So it was always there.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay.
I'd say so. Well, I mean, my dad actually said... 2 years ago, I was asking him about, like, at what point in life do you kind of get to where you feel like you kind of know what to expect and what happens? And he was explaining that stuff to me, and he's like, you kind of have already gotten there. He's like, when you were 5 years old, you got a riding lawnmower, took the deck off of it. By the time you were 6, it was a go-kart for you, and you hooked up a wagon and you pulled the kids around town in it. You've always wanted to share motorsports and things like that with people. Holy shit, I don't even remember that, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, like, all those connection pieces that kind of showed up to that. So, sold everything, sold all the equipment and whatnot. Young man was moving into the Michigan area, came to go buy some of the equipment. He wanted to open a shop. I saw myself in him and pretty much gave him everything. Tony was interested in the kind of the IP aspect to it, or I don't know if it was.
That came later because you had Modern Mechanics, and I was like, I remember when you said that, and I was like, man, it's a sick name.
That's a great name.
It's a really good name. And then it was by we were a couple years through you doing the go-karts, and you were not doing the go-karts, simplifying it, but you were not going to have a car repair facility. Mm-hmm. And we were going through the rebrand of Alma Tire, the commercial stuff being called ATS Fleet Service, and we needed to have
something made sense.
One name, right, for everything else. And I don't know what made me think about it, but I was like, man, Jordan had this great name, and he's not using it. I wonder, and you provided the amazing gesture of just giving it to me.
Oh my God, I was so excited to see it get put to use. I was like, hell, and of a group of, if anybody were to take it over this company, genuinely, like everybody I think in this company knows, like I have a deep caring for these people in this industry, but specifically this company, because it's got good values, it's got good people. I've learned so much from it. So to see somebody take something that I built and say, hey, we're interested in that and we want to continue it forward, it's like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's neat.
Awesome.
I do think that's a cool thing about it. It's like, every time we say modern mechanics, there's always a tie back to
you said it.
That story.
It kind of brought back a memory, and I'm like, oh yeah. You said it so matter of factly too, and I'm like, I completely forgot.
Yeah, it's funny because
honestly,
when I refer the shop and everything, I'm telling them, I'm like, modern mechanics, and I'm like, I just like, should I call it Town and Country, or am I saying modern mechanics for me? Because like,
I know.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
We internally struggle with
there.
that. We're gonna figure that out.
Yeah, we're getting there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, so I remember it had gotten really successful, and really, what ended up happening was I was working on vehicles. I mean, like Tony's Camaro was just to do it for fun, to get him.
You're like, I get to work on a sweet Camaro.
By far, it was the nicest vehicle I'd ever worked on in my life, as far as well built, proper type of equipment and everything. It was like, holy crap, I am allowed to touch something like this. It was quite an honor for me.
Yeah. The trust that somebody has to put into you to like take care of their prized possession.
Well, I mean, you've had some good people work on that. So
Yeah.
when you see
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
I mean,
the track
have you
record-
seen it? Have you seen it since it's been redone again?
Yeah, I think I did. But I don't know. I think
It's
the last-
actually
you probably did a
now.
track
It now it really is a nice car.
Oh yeah, track.
Yeah, he saw a
yeah,
track day.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but I remember, coming over to your house the late nights trying to figure out the 5-stage sump or dry sump system and all that stuff on the front of that harmonic balancer, and at like 11 o'clock at night with two other gritty mechanics. One trying to vinyl wrap the stuff while we're underneath.
Dude, that was
That was fun.
that was really fun. Like that was me, Sky King,
Okay.
and Trevor Monk was there. Taven Cress.
was wrapping it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout
I think I
out.
paid him like $200 to
Yeah, it
wrap
was
it.
like nothing.
Yep.
But we were trying to get the thing done to go down to Daytona in Florida.
Okay.
And it was, it
Even
was
the kid
definitely a
member cleared the
ragtag
5-stage.
team. And like, but it was really cool. Like being out there in the shop with those, like that collection of 4 or 5 guys and just like cranking on this car that we all like had this goal of like, we got to get it ready for Daytona. It's gotta be good to go.
Very
and
cool.
and we made it.
Yeah.
I brought it down there and I ran at 150 miles an hour down there.
Was that when it lost oil pressure?
No,
That was the next one.
that was another thing.
Yeah.
That was
It's racing. It happens. Yeah. If you're expecting a car to be reliable while racing it, then you're in an elite level of money that I am.
yeah. I haven't quite made it there yet, but
No. Don't worry, I can't even make it to the track most of the time and bring some beforehand.
I've seen you spend a considerable amount of time trying to get
cross
get your
car?
vehicle, your cross car up and running.
Cross car's sick.
I think I like working on the stuff more than I like actually racing.
I think you might too. Mm-hmm. Yep, I can see it.
Yep.
So that is it's always fun to watch that rip around the course though when you've got it ripping.
It's a wild ride. You are
Yep.
the entire time expecting that you're going to die in any second, and I wouldn't want to race anything else. Like it's just like it's the most exhilarating feeling. I remember we were going to get a quad for Casey recently, and when we were going to go buy it, the guy was like, "Hey, if you want, I'm selling a jet ski and whatnot." He was trying to sell it to me. I'm like, jet skis are so boring because like, what are you gonna do? Like, you could do anything you want, and you're not gonna get hurt. Like, why is that fun? He's like, apparently most people don't like the idea of getting hurt, and that you need to have that to have fun. I'm like, huh.
It's interesting.
Never thought about that.
so motorsports and getting hurt are both pretty integral parts of the story.
a little bit
But
of part of my life.
but and I do want to talk about this stuff.
Yeah,
but
I know.
Let's go back. So
Pivot back to
you're
the-
working on modern mechanics, and you decided that you were going to do something different.
Well,
You sold the stuff to the kid,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
now you're going all in on
yeah.
High Caliber, right?
Well, it was. I remember the idea was I was going to start modern mechanics to have enough FU money to just blow it, because I thought that to own a go-kart track you had to start as a billionaire and become a millionaire type of
Right.
thing. And so, I was building some software stuff. Tony and I had built a tire pressure, temperature, and wear indicator sensor. That I was putting together like a Bluetooth communications and everything, and I had prototyped. I had these molds and everything. I had prototyped the variable resistors through it, and how it would communicate and stuff. And ultimately, I was doing it while working for Bridgestone, so I ended up handing over the pads. I think the pads were in your name. I think we had you file them, didn't we?
They were in my name because we figured that was a safer thing to do, and we were a good ways down the line. I flew out to Phoenix. We met with that guy, but I think. Yeah.
I think the question was, what color Lamborghini are you going to buy? Was what we thought.
Yeah, we had big dreams.
Yeah, we did.
We had Lambo dreams, and yeah.
And it was like...
didn't all come together. But.
I mean, it could have. It was really how much you put behind it. But
yeah, maybe, but you know what? I think it was... you were a lot of the technical knowledge on that stuff, and...
You were industry.
As I remember, we were... I think I met you for breakfast down at Good Truckin'. And you were like, dude, my heart is just not in it.
Yeah.
And
that's what it was. That's right.
And I was like, well, what is your heart in? And you go, I just want a go-kart track. Yeah. I was like, then go get a freaking go-kart track.
Which is like how the conversation worked with my wife and my parents and like every investor and whatnot. It was just like, yeah, then go do it. It's like, wait, like really? Am I going to get permission to go do this?
It seems like you guys are all pretty supportive of,
Yeah, it was really surprising. I remember coming to, I was in your Gaylord location with the blueprints and showing it to your dad and your uncle. Laid it all out, had the big, giant, rolled it on the table, and this is what's going to happen. This is how I'm doing it and everything. And yeah,
I can only imagine the look on their
they were
faces.
probably like,
what?
Cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I remember when I went to go, I was going to scale the business. It got to the point where I had more business than I could ever even handle at
Modern Mechanics.
Yeah. Because, what was happening was like people who needed their cars worked on it, I feel like I'm pretty good at doing this stuff.
Yeah.
And I can do it quick. And I care about people, so like if they couldn't pay, like, hey, cool, we'll make a plan, that type of thing. They were just working with me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I didn't need the money, so I wasn't pounding their door down. They didn't feel stressed, and built a pretty loyal customer base because, like, if you can pay me on your terms, it's also less expensive than everybody else, and the comeback is going to be substantially lower than most people in the market. That's a pretty good business.
Yeah.
Not a scalable business, not sustainable because it takes...
Good for them.
Yeah. Right, 100%.
Great for them.
And I have no regrets for it, other than the Sprinter vans. The Sprinter vans, I will never do Sprinter vans.
I remember that.
Can you turn this into a van I can live in?
Dude,
No, that wasn't it.
Oh my God, it was... Oh yeah, we won't even go into that. But late nights trying to figure out cobbled together Mercedes, Dodge, Freightliner combinations into things I should never have had my hands into, but was trying to do, and figured it out most of the time through all but one. One of them was I could have blown that damn thing up. But anyways, that was kind of like, all right, I'm burning myself to the ground doing this, and I made enough money Bridgestone was compensated. I still, to this day, I'm 6 years now in the company, 6.5 years. I left the company February of 2019. Mm-hmm. And to this day, I still make less than I did working for Bridgestone.
Okay.
And wouldn't trade it for the world.
Right.
The autonomy and the being able to choose your direction is, there's no dollar tag you can put on that.
Right.
But going through that hyper push phase and understanding that, like, I understand how business works now. I spent some time, I had to do the taxes and set that up. I had to get the legal filings and whatnot. And I had to organize the work orders and set up point of sale systems and everything. That was just all in my spare time.
And you have a very elaborate system now, I'm sure.
There's 3 point of sales now. Yeah. Four of them. But I remember it was a point where it's really just absolutely kicking ass with Bridgestone, and they opened up they were doing a merger, Pep Boys. They were trying to acquire Pep Boys. And I was like, I could probably get my hands into that. And because, I always say it's in our company, everything's figure outable. Like, just, there's a wealth of information out there, and all you got to do is just ask the questions. And so I looked at the opening for it. I don't even know what compensation was. I could have cared less. Honestly, the whole time I worked for that company, I never asked for a penny more than what I was making every single day. They always just handed to me what they thought I was worth, and I was happy with it. Because it wasn't about what I made today. It was about what I'd make tomorrow.
Sure.
So I was looking at it, and the hiring manager was the president of Bridgestone Retail Operations. He was the direct report. And I was like, okay, he's not going to look at my resume. I don't have a Harvard degree. I don't have a background in mergers and acquisitions, things like this. But I'll crush this. I'll absolutely do awesome in this. And so I hand wrote a letter to him and said, hey, give me 5 minutes. I'll prove to you that I'm the right person for this decision. And mailed it out. Just, thought, show him that, I'm a, that I guess that man of my word type of conversation type of thing.
Yeah.
Like you're an authentic person.
Yeah.
You're
right.
like, hey, I want the job. I'm going to take the time to do this.
Yep.
I don't need.
I'm
to,
not
I don't need to
Yep.
oversell
Yep.
you. Right.
Yeah. Just give me a shot.
Give me some time to talk
me
to
some
you,
time.
and you'll figure it out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he could have interviewed me and said, I'll pay you $0 if it's not successful. And I would have taken it. But at the end of the day, he probably made the right choice. I was probably not prepared for what that was going to be. But I got a phone call from one of my buddies. He was pretty high up in the human resources department in Bridgestone, Americas. And he was like, hey, your letter's making its rounds around the office. I was like, oh, yeah, thinking like, okay, cool. Like, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Because, you're getting a phone call from HR later today for disciplinary action. Just a heads up. I wanted to warn you on this.
Wow.
And I'm like, what the hell? He's like, dude, he's a military guy. You absolutely overstep chain of command with this stuff. Got it. Okay. That told me clearly I'm not working for somebody that is looking for... the conversation, and they did a good job. They called me up, they're like, we're just super confused why you thought you'd be right for this job. Like, we must not be doing a good job of helping you understand how to get places in this company, what the career trajectory is, what the chain of command and communication is, which is absolutely right. In a large company like that, it has to operate that way. But I was this redneck CEO-like guy who wanted to just I was Wild West, which is the wrong person for an M&A of that size. And so they made the right decision, but it was like, okay, I don't fit. This isn't my thing anymore.
Not a bad
Not a bad
bad
thing.
company operating
Oh, no.
in system or culture. Just
No.
not the one that you saw yourself
Right.
in.
Yep, right. I mean, honestly, I would advise anybody to consider working for that company to this day still. I still have my heart and soul into it. I mean, shit, when you guys did your company party, I pulled out my Bridgestone basketball and football for the prizes and stuff. Like, those were sitting in my office for a very long time. They matter. I needed to go on my own path. And the conversation was, Jordan, I know you're wildly successful. You're performing incredibly in the company, but we need you to get back inside the box. Those words were said. And I was like, okay. That sounds like a slow death. And it probably would have been right because I think in another way they were probably trying to say, like, hey, humble yourself, little child. You're like 28 years old. Chill. But I didn't want to. I wanted to keep moving. And so during that time, I was just kind of theoretically like, what would happen if I opened up this entertainment center stuff? And I was building a real-life version of Mario Kart, and the manufacturer's like, holy crap, internationally this would be huge. And I remember the day it kind of clicked to me. It was actually in 1 week. And the first thing was I went and looked at some property that I knew it was basically abandoned land right off of the highway in Lansing. So if you're 496, they opened up there's a Longhorns, there's a Sierra, Lowe's is there, all that stuff.
Yep.
So right over there by that car dealership that used to just be like barren
Nothing.
land.
Yeah, it was farmland.
100%.
Right, yeah.
Well, there used to be like a hotel that was there that they ripped down, so it had electrical and plumbing, all that stuff through it. And I'm like, this has been vacant forever. I'm gonna go see if I can buy it. I started making phone calls, and they're like, well, there's a development coming in there, and it started in 2 years. It's $1 million an acre. And I went, okay. And I remember at that point being like, what am I saying? I have never touched anything with that dollar amount, but it was so like, yeah, okay, I can do that. I can figure that out. It's like, where did that come from? And then it was a week later, I was talking about High Caliber, and Tony actually called me and gave me an absolutely incredible offer to come work for him.
Not incredible enough.
But no. It absolutely was. It was actually probably too generous. But my concern was, I told him, I remember turning it down. I said, my direction and my thoughts are to go open this. If I come do this for you, I will not do as good of a job as I can do, and I value our relationship too much to not do my best for you. And I think you said, 50% of your effort is probably better than 100% of the next guy. Like, yeah, but for me, I won't be able to do that. I can't let you down on that.
Yeah.
And that was such a weird thing because I'd never actually made the decision I was going to do it. It was in that moment. I was on Lansing Road. I was right over by this, it used to actually be called a Velvet Touch. It was a strip club type of thing.
Yeah.
But I remember being like,
Sweet.
yeah, our conversation of my career trajectory was marked by a really shitty strip club. So
Oh, that's shitty.
But
I don't go to strip clubs.
yeah, no, it was.
They're-
I don't think anybody would.
They hold nothing for me.
No, I don't think they hold anything for anybody except for empty promises. But I remember that being like, okay, so apparently there's a point in my decision making where I know the answer, and it just happens. I hadn't given the formal thought. I hadn't said at this date and this is what's happening, all those things. So much so that I think it was just like a month later that I quit my job. I didn't even have the lease signed. We weren't even funded or anything. I was just like, yeah, it's happening. I'm done. We were done. I mean, I gave plenty of notice and whatnot. I still remember Brian. God damn, what was his last name? Brian
Ebert?
Ebert. Yeah.
Yeah.
His last day, he shook my hand. He looked at me. And he goes, "Good luck. We'll see you in a couple years." And that was not.
No.
That was not Brian Ebert trying to tell me I was going to fail. That was Brian Ebert giving me the fuel to go succeed.
Yeah.
It's just how he operates.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. I knew that. And that
Very
was-
cool.
Brian Ebert is
Yeah.
way cool. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, we were recently lucky enough to bring some employees down for a sales function, and that was my first experience at High Caliber.
Really?
Seeing everything.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
From the amenities to the food to and I made sure that we as many people as possible were able to do. We did axe throwing. We did.
I think you were the last one to leave that day.
We were. I was like,
I gotta go. And Steph's
yeah.
like, oh, are you leaving? You want
Where
to
are
just
you
throw some
going?
axes
Yeah,
quick
come on,
before we
let's
go?
throw axes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I gotta get out of here,
Yep.
dude. He's
So-
over there just like, ugh.
Very, very impressed. The entire experience was fun. One of the highlights, I think, was the safety video that you recorded before you get on the track, which is a necessary evil as those things reach pretty high speeds. So
Yeah, we were really trying to make sure, like, how do we keep people to keep their attention? You have to be either unique,
genuine.
the purple cow aspect of it. And so we was like, okay, what we'll do is we'll just make it like comically entertaining.
Yeah.
But we don't want to lose the value of what this is actually trying to convey. So we started off, it's incredibly aggressive with carts flipping over and hitting each other and things like that.
Yeah.
To
Actual footage of Leanne Grace and Betty Brennan.
oh my God, yet to this day, nobody has ever achieved what they did. They actually had a go-kart. We still don't know how it happened, but you know how they have the bumpers around it?
Yeah.
The bumper went up and onto the roll bar. So, I mean, that roll bar is
Really?
what, 4 feet off the ground?
Dude,
top of it?
the one go-kart was like almost completely vertical.
It went
It was
hooked
insane.
around the roll bar, and they're laughing their ass off. We're like, how the hell?
no.
These are
Yeah.
500-pound go-karts. Then the
Yeah.
front end of it went 4 feet off of the ground. Still have no idea how that happened.
That's
They're
incredible.
wild ladies.
Oh my gosh.
That's
yeah.
incredible.
But they gotta be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first time they rented out the facility, and that was 2019, wasn't it?
It was
It was before I was
pre-COVID.
here.
It was early, yeah.
Yep.
And my favorite part of that was the very last race. I went to go leave, and Tony, and I was pretty cooked. I hadn't even really realized it, but like, starting up the company and everything, we were a couple months into it. Everything was super fun, but energy levels were, I was sucking fumes.
Yeah.
And Tony's like, hey, you're going to race with me? Yeah, cool. We'll go do a race. And it's just him and I. And so we go out on the track. And now, mind you, when you're a track owner and you go out and race, you're racing. And so, you get the point to passes and all that stuff, and you're watching race lines, and you're perceiving, what's behind you doesn't matter, they'll let you know type of thing.
Yep.
And so we go out there and we start racing, and I'm like, Tony's a good racer. This is going to be really fun. I've got the home field advantage. He's got the experience advantage. Let's go. And we get halfway around the track, and Tony's next to me, and he just puts me into a wall. Just straight slams me into a wall. And I'm like, what the hell? And I look over at the track worker.
Play to win.
I look over at the track worker expecting for him to like flag it or do something, and I watch him put the controller behind his back, and I'm like, oh shit.
Oh no.
And I'm like, okay, let's go. And so Tony and I mean, man, we just wrecked each other through that, and I forgot how much fun that is. Racing's fun.
Yeah.
Fucking your friends up is
a whole different level.
more funner.
Hell yeah.
And so now, like, I think I said it before I left. It was like, hey, the best way to get along with somebody is put them in a wall. Don't hurt them, but
Yeah.
be a little non-apologetic to it sometimes. That was fun. That was a fun lesson.
Yep. I got to be honest, my back did hurt a little bit. Just getting tapped through corners. Shout out Liam Morgan. Didn't let him pass me. Stu Gronveld did get the best of me, and Ben Wardine almost killed me.
That
So
makes sense.
it was
Well, Stuart's that like
all
prime
things.
size person for that.
6 foot tall, about 120 pounds soaking wet.
Well, 140 is like if you go to the the American Electric Kart Championship stuff and whatnot, they're all 140 pounds and they're all over 5'10".
Wow.
Like every
Okay.
single one of them. It is like the photocopy. Like when you go around corners on a go-kart, you have to lean
Jockeys,
out.
horse racing.
It's
6 foot tall,
it's
140
insane.
pounds in kart racing. Okay.
Yep. And there's a
Noted.
magic number. You go lighter than that, you don't get traction on the front end. You go heavier than that, you don't get the acceleration on the corners. It's just a sweet spot. And so if you're under 100, under 135 pounds or 300 pounds, you literally have a parallel advantage between the two. It's a traction issue. But if you're at that like 135 to 150, you are like in this sweet spot of untouchable.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Stu?
What are we gonna do?
We did talk about some of the kart manufacturers and tracks they actually have for ballast. You can put it in there to make it equal weights and stuff. So
That's awesome. No, it was an awesome experience, and no, I can't say enough good things about it. I came back here, I was like very excited. My
good team
wa-
of people.
Yeah, it was great too. I think it was an impactful. We were able to have an impactful sales meeting with some other vendors there, and
That was kind of fun to see them coming in.
yeah.
I hope you guys made them pay for it.
Yeah, absolutely. But they're great business partners, and no, it was a fun experience. So to see what your business has become is, man, it's awesome. And I'm sure there's a lot of trying stories and plenty that you could tell us about the building the business up. You were just kind of telling us about some land that you were looking to purchase. How did you end up where you did?
Man.
And yeah, let's kind of go from there.
So didn't end up doing that land because I was in. My wife she's one of the best salespeople I've ever seen in my life, and she had won this.
Your wife is a jewel.
Dude, she is a killer. That girl, man. If there's anybody that can outperform me, it's either Tony Grace or Jalissa Munsters.
It's usually our wives. They're
dude.
better than us. Yep.
Terrifyingly good. She had won this national sales competition. It was funny. She came to me beforehand, about 6 months before. She said, "Hey, it's a 6-month sales contest. I want to win. You're not going to see me for about 6 months to make this happen. You good? Got it."
That's awesome.
And she did. She killed it. So we were flown to Grenada, and it was this amazing trip. We were there for I think 10 days. Our tour guide was the admiral of the island, of the Navy for the island.
Wow.
Yeah, his name was Mandu.
What kind of hat was he wearing?
Every whites, straight, like the white pants, white jacket, white hat, like straight up
Feather?
Wow.
Big
no.
feather?
I would.
Little
So
feather.
imagine a U.S. Navy admiral,
Yep.
like doing
What
salutes
time
at,
period?
1965.
Like Richard Greer. And,
Sweet.
Yeah. Incredibly proper, incredibly intelligent, and incredibly.
Your head's still in strip gloves, isn't it?
But he, we
You're
fly
sick.
in. Dude, Jay, keep us going here. We fly into Grenada, and they're like, "Get in the van, we got to go across." And we're going through all these winding roads, and this island's like 12 miles across, and it took like 45 minutes to get there. We're doing like Mach 100 because it's so winding. And we get to this beach, and it's 6-foot sea turtles laying sea eggs, and I'm from meet you away from it type of thing. Like
man.
that was like, 45 minutes after we land, that's happening, and the entire trip was like that. I think it was like day 5 or 6. I was on the front patio, and I'm literally looking out at all these yachts. There's a freaking iguana in the tree there. It's a beautiful. We were at the. I can't remember the name of the university there, but they do a ton of holistic medicine study in there. John Hopkins.
BYU.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yep, John Hopkins University. And so we were staying on that campus and their accommodations and stuff, and just absolutely beautiful. And I was just worthless. And my wife's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I'm just not happy." And really, I was just cooked. I was just, I was doing everything that I was really good at, but not that I wanted to do.
Sure.
And so the money was coming, but the happiness wasn't. It was just, I was fulfilling myself with activity rather than what really is growth, which is, doing what you want, when you want, with who you want, for however long you want. It's the ideal human experience.
Sure.
And she was like, "What do you want?" I was like, "I just want to open a go-kart track with my friends." And she actually, it's funny, she was getting dressed to go they were filming an education series, and she threw her heel at me. It was like, "Then go do it!" Like, she was just so irritated that I was like, so ungrateful for what was happening. Yep, that's
it.
perfect. That is exactly it.
Yep.
Officer and a gentleman.
Classic misconception.
I was like, okay, so that's like permission I just got there? And she's like, I watched you in the business of this modern mechanics thing over the last year and a half. Because I was like, well, I asked you 2 years ago about this, and you told me absolutely not. And she's like, yeah, I watched you over the last 2 years. You've changed. You've done the things that tell me that you'll be able to do this. Okay, cool. So I get home, and my parents are my best friends. They are my mentors. They are my guide. They are my best friends, and I trust them a lot. And when I'd asked them about it a while ago, they were like, I don't know if you should do that. I called them up. I was like, well, I was talking to Jalissa, and this is what they said. And they went, yeah, we agree. Do you need investors? Holy shit. You guys are giving me you guys agree with this?
Investors, possibly you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, at the end of the day,
that's
it was
really cool.
like, wow, you guys believe in me enough to where you're willing to put skin in the game for it. And, to me, it was also like, well, I believe in myself enough that I know I'm going to be taking care of them at end of life. This is going to give me the opportunity to build the capital to where I'm not the one who's changing the diapers or whatever type of thing. Because typically the person that takes care of the people at end of life, the end of life person grows to despise that person. I don't want to taint my relationship with my parents like that. So I saw this as a vehicle for me to be able to help create the wealth that would allow them to have the end of life that everybody imagines. Now, they've done a really good job of doing that themselves. But at the end of the day, if that all went away, can I then do it? What's my responsibility as a son and them to take care of them as that that legacy aspect to it.
Yeah.
And so they did. They were the first people to put money into it, which the hardest money to get on any business is the first. Once
That's
people
so cool.
say, then people follow. So we mortgaged the house, refinanced the house, sold everything I owned, cashed out my 401k. Took a line of credit out for the gap because during that time they would only refinance 80% of the home value, but you could do up to 95% with a line of credit, but it was an incredibly high interest rate. Still is today.
Good news.
Yeah, I was just looking at the interest we paid last year. I'm like, oh my God. It's like just that interest alone was more than what I made last year. But it's a part of it. We were incredibly high risk. And I remember going down the road and thinking like, okay, we're opening an entertainment center. Entertainment is about building relationships and having fun. Mm-hmm. Who does that better than anybody I know? And immediately it was Zach Bingham. Like, this guy is comically easy to get along with. It's insane. And so I called him up. I knew nothing about running the business, and this guy.
Zach's cool.
Oh my God!
You have a great team.
Oh, it's the funny thing is each of us independently are completely worthless. Together, we're unstoppable, and all of us know that.
Yeah.
But
so great.
I called him up and I was like, hey, and he lived in Ohio, and he was in the logistics, over the road trucking, and he was a trucker, and he had for about a year been doing dispatch basically. And so we're sitting there talking, and was that the camera just dying? Zach was at my wedding. Yeah. And our wedding was a very nice wedding. We rented out an opera house, and I remember at one point Zach was pouring, I think it was Jameson from the second story into my mouth on the dance floor type of thing.
Absolutely.
That is Zach Bingham to a T. He made that a party, and it was one of the best experiences ever, and it was because of him, solely because of him. And I was like, yep, he would do well. And I didn't know anything about how to run this business. But I was like, I'm going to call him. I called him up. He was getting his oil changed. I was like, hey, I want to start this company. Do you want to be? And I offered him the job of track marshal because I didn't know anything, which is literally, if you were to go into our company and say, what is the very first and easiest job you could hire anybody into in our company?
Yeah.
Track marshal.
Yep.
It is a minimum wage job, entry level into it. It's a lot of it pretty similar to a lifeguard, but imagine being a lifeguard that doesn't have to swim.
Yep.
All they have to do is point and say, hey, that happened.
Yep.
That's
They're like,
job.
check this flag out.
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
And he was like, yeah, let me talk to Mariel. Now, his wife, I've known him for a long time. She is very she needs to know what's happening, where it's gonna go, and everything. And he went and talked to her, and this was at first just a theoretical conversation. Would you do it? Are you interested? A week later, he calls me up. He said, hey, I went and told Mariel. She started bawling. She said she's on board, and we have somebody come in to look at the house today. Oh shit. Okay. Let's go.
Pressure.
Yeah. And it just so happened this guy, they didn't list the house. This guy came and approached them about buying the house.
Wow.
And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And so
stars are aligning.
Yeah, literally. It happens in my life all the time. So many times in my life, a huge problem comes in front of me, and then the solution for it just shows up to a point where I'm just like, this is dumb. Like, this isn't fair. Like, how am I this lucky? But this was a similar situation. So his family moved to Michigan 6 months before he did. He couldn't tell his company or anything. The company he worked for, Zach, is, you could cut his arm off and he'd be like, at least I still have one arm. Like, he is overly optimistic. The company he worked for was an incredibly poisonous environment. When he had shared some of the things with me, I'm like, oh my dear God, this is a Jerry Springer episode. Like, genuinely, like, and I wanted to get him out of that environment. So he worked in Ohio while his family lived in Michigan. And so he was full-time doing that stuff. Didn't tell him anything about it because he didn't want to rock the boat. He was setting things up to be able to be a good transition next people when they went to leave.
Yeah.
And then 3 times a week we were getting on calls at 11 or 12 o'clock at night. Okay, this is what you're working on. We were going through leadership development books and stuff, and I had a team of like 5 people. We were all working for free. And Zach would come up every weekend. He'd move stuff over to the house and whatnot from where he was. He lived across the street from his parents, so he was able to, kind of navigate all that stuff. He really put himself out there in the beginning. And then Casey, his was crazy to meet him too. He came from warehousing. I mean, basically, he wasn't much higher than your typical like picker at a warehouse. Like, he was setting up some of the shipments and logistics and things like that. But I think when I met him, he was probably 20, maybe 21.
Okay.
So he was super young, but super off chance to meet him. I bought a wrecked, it was a CBR 600RR sport bike, and I'd rebuilt it to start racing sport bikes. And I was like, before I go really like running this thing on a racetrack, I should go shake it down. And there was a Gander Mountain that had just opened up. So the asphalt was like perfectly brand new.
Yep.
And Gander Mountain went bankrupt 3 months after they opened it. So it's an empty lot with brand new asphalt. Perfect.
Just begging to be ripped out.
Oh, 100%. And so actually near that property that I wanted to buy. And so I go there with this sport bike and full leathers and everything. I'm just running the hell out of this thing. And all of a sudden, this guy in a supermoto shows up with leathers and boots, and we just started racing each other in this parking lot. And it was, I remember I washed the
Don't
front
even need
tire
to talk
twice.
to him.
And literally, he just showed up, and it was like, you're going down.
Yeah.
I almost hit a curb. I washed the front tire twice. We were pushing each other hard. We were inches from each other, leaning around corners, doing 80 miles an hour in a parking lot that's probably 80,000 square feet. We were just going hard after it. And we stopped, and I was like, hey, who are you? Blah, blah. I got to know each other. And I was like, well, I'm racing this Friday over at Groton. Do you want to go? I'll pick you up. He's like, yeah, sure. And so I picked him up. We went racing together, spent the day together. And it was like a couple days later, I was like, well, I'm going wakeboard. Do you want to go with me wakeboard? He's like, yeah, sure. Brought his wife. And it was funny. His wife was like,
the random strange man you met in a parking lot racing. Yeah. You guys are wakeboarding now.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Invite him to it. And it was, I'd always just like to, people that I can get along with. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. If you want to join, great. If not, I'm still going to go do it. And so he actually had brought his wife with him because he was like, this is super weird to run into a guy that's like, I will take you racing, I will take you wakeboarding, that type of thing. I remember
I love you, man, vibes.
So they get in the boat, and his wife looks at me, and she goes, so is this, and like I push off the dock, and she goes, is this the point where you murder us? And I remember I just looked at her, I was like, no, I rape first. And like we just take off on the boat. That was the foreword into knowing Casey. And but he's an incredibly hardworking person. Just great morals, values, humble as can be. He is, so we all have our own job titles at High Caliber. Mine's Chief Ford Officer, and his is Captain Overthinks Things, and man, is that right. And so, because I don't think about anything at all, I'm like, here's an idea, and we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And he overthinks it. We fall on a good, pretty middle ground.
Yeah.
There.
He's like,
Very
whoa.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tony can relate to that. Yeah, Tony's laughing.
If you have me do it, I'll get.
Guess if I'm the overthinker or the underthinker.
We always laugh. It's like I can take it from 0 to 75 faster than anybody else, but from 75 to 100, it's not going to happen. I'm a framing carpenter, not a finished carpenter.
Sure.
Casey can never take it from 0 to 75, but he can take it from 75 to 110. So it's really cool. We've understood a kind of a rhythm of handoff and things. I will build the structure. This is what it looks like. These are resources. This is the final product and everything. But I can't quite seem to, and I know what needs to happen, and it's not difficult, but I just can't seem to do it. And so I just go, hey, this is the point for you now. And he just kills it.
That's awesome. No, like I said, your team's great. What is with the creative job titles? What's Zach's?
Oh my God! It was the bearded ginger is what everybody has. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
It's
but
stuck. Yeah.
I think Sultan of Flavor was like
Sultan
his,
of Flavor. Nice.
because it's food and beverage. I
nice.
mean, that's his
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
He loves it.
That's cool. That's very cool.
And I mean, our food. Oh my God, it's incredible. What he's done. I mean, our kitchen is like 800 square feet, and we can do 1.5 million in sales out of it.
That's incredible.
It's insane, and it's all like you could put anybody in there. Like my daughter could go in there and do everything.
You still got the gluten-free pizza crust?
100%. So actually, what's crazy? I told Zach
to anybody listening,
Right.
get down to High Caliber if for no other reason than gluten-free pizza.
Quality GF options.
the
Dude, I'm
pizza
telling you.
in general. Actually, so I was telling Zach it was in January. We were doing a one-on-one, and he was handling all food and beverage stuff. I was like, hey. I was doing all of our marketing. I'm like, marketing pizza to go-kart track is not an easy thing. Marketing award-winning pizza is. Go prove it. Your shit's good. Go prove it. And so we had these people come in from Ohio. There was like a group of 10 people. They didn't know us. They didn't know the market or anything like that. Ohio has similar tastes to what Michigan does and whatnot. So we're not looking at brand loyalty and whatnot. And so we got a vote of the public, and we're like, what are the best pizza places in Lansing? And so we sent out employees to go get all of their pizzas.
Yep.
We put them in discrete boxes, all look the same. Put them in front of these people, blindfold taste test, and they rated it on taste, texture, overall satisfaction.
Okay.
We swept all three across the board.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yep. It's incredible. We don't make shit for money on the pizzas because of the quality of materials we use, but it's like, it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, but like this is food, and food is a bond. Like you can't screw that up. You can get rear-ended in a go-kart and not like it, but if your food was cold and not good, you're never coming back.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, so like this has to be right, and man, he's just killed it.
That's awesome. That is great.
So, I mean, you got the team. You've built the team. You're starting High Caliber. You're off to the races. And that was like
19.
6 years ago.
Yeah. It was.
So it's been basically no problem since, right?
Yeah, 100%. Totally. Yeah. Opened September 2019.
Great timing.
Man, we lines out the door. It's funny. I remember our first Saturday. We did like 6,500 in sales the first time we did that, and we were like, "Oh my God, how are we ever going to do more than this?" Like, oh my God, if we did that on a Saturday, I would probably just turn in my keys at this point now. But it was inconceivable to manage. The logistics and flow and everything, we've just improved that massively, and we're doing way more than what that is. We're pretty well established in the market, and we've got a lot of people that we work with. I would say we're in the top 10th percentile for go-kart track revenues, especially. And I mean, to do that in the Lansing market compared to like a major metro. Now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Andretti and Orlando, they're doing 8 times my revenue.
Yeah.
But as far as not A-grade markets, you go B or less, we're beating most people out there.
That's incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, we opened up September 2019. It's like, holy crap, we need more room. Like our Axeron room was literally shoulder to shoulder. You walked in there, it smelled like a high school locker room most of the time because there's just so many bodies in a tight space. And so I was like, okay, we got to do something about this. And Old Navy next door they said that they weren't going to renew their lease.
Yeah.
And the guy that I negotiated my lease against, Rock is what he went by. He's 72 years old.
A rock.
Oh man, he's such a wonderful man. He was really good at being like, let me show you what you should be doing with a brute force. Not because it was what he wanted me to do, but it was because what I needed to do.
Okay.
Really good ethics. And so we go over there, we look at the Old Navy. I'm like, yeah, we could do this. It's 13,000 square feet, I think. And he goes, well, let me show you something. We walk out in the hall of the mall. He goes, this whole wing. What about that? And we walked over and there was a wing. I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And so it's like, all right, let's get the negotiations, these things going. And I was like, you know what? We need this space. We're just going to start a demo. Can we just get going? Like, we'll figure out the deal. We've worked together really well. We'll figure out what that lease is going to be. He's like, you're going to sign a contract that if you don't sign the lease, you're going to have to take it back to White Box. Cool. Don't care. Fine. We're moving forward.
Yep.
And so we just start gutting the place. Now, this is 4 storefronts. So you've got the HVAC, the sprinkler system, the walls, the plumbing, all that stuff that we're doing. So we're just shy of $300,000 into it, and before we signed the contract. A week later, we got shut down for COVID for 9 months. It's a hell of a journey. I got in a bad motorcycle accident, got paralyzed for 8 months during it.
What?
I'm all steel, or titanium, I think it is.
Didn't know that.
Maybe do a fiber on that.
Yeah.
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 Tell us about that, please.
Uh,
Not to get too personal. I don't want to.
no, it was great.
COVID 9 months of shutdown, either one.
I mean, honestly, they were kind of one and the same. Well, I was listening. Actually, I'm pretty sure it was Andy Frisella. I was listening to a podcast when I was in the hospital. I was all doped up on drugs like crazy. But I remember him saying a mark of a leader is
Best time to listen to Andy Frisella.
Oh, man. I'm going to do that.
I'm gonna fight.
Yeah. I remember it because I was sitting there. I'm like, shit. Like the prognosis on it was I'd never walk again. Because I woke up, I was 13 hours in on surgery. I was in ICU for 2 weeks in a coma. And they were like, I woke up from the last surgery and I was like, he's like, you did a number on yourself. Shattered my hip socket, broke 4 vertebrae, 3 ribs. I mean, I literally was 240 pounds. I went into the hospital at 170. It was all atrophy, all from just, it was incredible. The pictures of me, my entire back is just purple and it's just huge. And I woke up and I was like, he had said, he's like, man, you did a number on yourself. I was like, yeah. I was like, how long before I can run again? And he just laughed. He goes, there's no damn way you're going to run. You'll be lucky if you ever walk again. And it's like, I remember thinking, fuck you, I'll run faster than I ever did before, which I did. Yeah. Ran a 5K in under 20 minutes after that one.
Hell yeah.
By the way.
Yep. Little brag there. Humble brag.
Humble.
Not running them at all anymore. I did that and I was like, all right, that's
I don't need to do that. I'm glad I checked that off the box.
Yeah, 3 triathlons.
That's pretty sweet.
That is
good,
awesome. Good
surgeons, good people. And the thing is I like to think this, and I've gotten to know that doctor for a while. He said that to me not because it's very similar like the Brian Ebert thing. It wasn't because he was trying to discourage me. It was because he could see who I was. He needed to motivate me.
You've had a lot of people like that in your life. That's awesome.
Yep. I've been full of it. Auto shop teacher all the way forward.
That's awesome.
They knew the best way to get me to do something was to tell me I can't.
Piss you off.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So yeah, it was like a couple weeks later. During COVID, they had changed floors and the hospital staff they were out of their mind. They didn't know what to do, how to do it, to a point where I actually got out of my bed at one point. I used the blood bag and whatnot as like basically like a crutch to go to the bathroom because I was just so sick of the catheter. And I pulled the catheter out, went to the bathroom, and mind you, I am like literally bleeding out at this point because I'm not supposed to be out of bed. There's alarms going off like crazy because you're not supposed to get out. I get back in bed, and the alarm's still going off. 20 minutes later, somebody showed up. I was like, well, I'm going to die if I stay here because that's how much capacity they have right now. And so I was supposed to go to Mary Free Bed for rehab, but they came and they went to assess me, and they're like, okay, we got to see how you're doing. And I was like, I'll walk the floor. They're like, yeah, that's not possible. Like, no, I'll do it right now.
I'll do it.
And I did it. And they're like, okay, we are not set up to handle you. Mary Free Bed and rehab is usually to get people to understand what it takes to recover. You don't have that gap. We're going to send you home. And so called my wife, said, hey, I'm coming home.
We'll make arrangements to move me back in.
Yeah. Well, we were expecting 2 months at Mary Free Bed.
Okay.
So it was a phone call out of nowhere of just, hey, I'm going to be there later today. And she's like, what the hell do I do? And so she came and got me, got home. It was incredible. I remember going on an exit ramp, Lansing Road, really slow one that's like a 55-mile ramp. We were at 20. And I remember it was just incredibly painful because my leg was just moving out. I had no muscle. The doctors took out fist size of muscle out of there. I was very fit. So they drilled a hole through my knee. And they had to hang 35 pounds of weight off my leg for 2 days before the muscles would actually release enough for them to do the surgery because they were just holding on to it so much. Wow. I still got a scar where they put the bolt through. So to take all that out and everything, I'm used to being fine to be able to handle that. And I was just like, holy crap, I had to lean against the door to allow my leg to go over because of how, like...
Well, wasn't that, what is this, your femur, the top bone?
Yep.
Wasn't it 180 degrees?
No, that was 2 years later when I tried to do the backflip at Urban Air. So
okay,
that's a different story.
Yeah, shattered that.
Sorry,
shattered my 5th metatarsal. Oh, no. That's got to know the surgeon really well. I showed up and he's like, "Oh my god, dude!"
Again, yeah.
But anyways, yeah, we get home, and as I get home, Zach is taking care of all the rugs and everything because he knew I'd have a walker and doing the dishes. Casey was weed whacking the front of the house. Nobody asked him to. They just showed up. So, yep, that's who they are. 2 days later, father-in-law shows up with his friends. They build a wheelchair ramp. And they went over in my shop, and you'll still see it if you go there. There's a railing there, and it says no cripples allowed on the railing. And it was just a challenge. Can you do it? And I would get up. I have an uphill going to my shop. It's crushed asphalt. I would get the wheelchair up on the back wheels, and I would wheel up that to get up to my shop and then crawl up the stairs to it to get to my office to get to work. And it was all because when I was sitting in that hospital bed, I remember hearing Andy Frisella say, the mark of a leader is not how he leads in times when it's good. It's about how he leads in times when it's hard. I was like, let's go. Sick. This is my time then. This is when I get to show who I am, which was just a wonderful challenge.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was fun.
I remember when you were in your wheelchair and I took you to a track day at Gingerman.
Yeah.
I told everyone that this was my Make-A-Wish.
Yep. I sat there up on that hill
donating my time.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's always wanted to go to a racetrack. He's wheeling
He's
around.
always wanted to watch cars go real fast.
It felt fun as hell to watch a race out there, man. Holy shit. That was fun. I enjoyed that.
Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was and then the metatarsal thing was 2 years later. I was like, before my incident, I used to be able to do a backflip, land, and do a front flip. And I was like, I wonder if I can still do that.
Let's try it out.
Yeah, so I started doing that. It's funny, we have this on video in slow motion.
No.
Because I would land the backflip, and when I'd go to do the front flip, I would fall apart. I'd get disoriented. I'm like, what is going on? I tossed my wife the phone. I was like, hey, will you record this in slow motion?
Yeah, I gotta like break this down.
Yeah, what am I doing here? And I do the backflip and land, and you hear, and you just watch me go, oh, and I fall forward, and it hurt really bad. I'm like, I must have like popped a tendon or something. So for the next like 3 hours, this was on New Year's Day. It was over in Muskegon. I'm like at the front desk, laying there on the ground or on the bench with ice on my foot, and trying not to alert anybody. Just like, oh yeah, I hurt myself a little bit. And so we get done, and everybody's like, okay, yeah, he hurt himself a little bit. Like, hey, you want to go out to a restaurant? I'm like, sure. And so we go to this restaurant, and they're like, all right, we're going to see you. And they walk us to the back corner of the restaurant. And I'm like in incredible amount of pain walking
Trying
on
not
this
to
stuff.
scream.
Yep,
Yeah.
just keeping my shit together so my wife, my daughter, and her friend don't have any concerns. We go to leave, and I was like, all right, I'm going to use the restroom. I'm like, where is it? They're the other side of the restaurant. I'm like, okay, I can do this. And so it was like 2 days later, I was telling my mom, I'm like, yeah, I must have fractured or something. And she's like, will you go get it x-rayed, just please? And I was like, yeah, sure. I go get it x-rayed, and the doctor comes over, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to have to refer you to Spare Orthopedic. I'm like, I know those guys. We text each other.
We're on a
We're
first name
old friends.
basis.
I did. I literally.
I got a punch card.
His name's Jay. So I text him. I'm like, hey, Jay, I'm gonna be coming to see you. I had a metatarsal thing, whatnot, and so we show up there, and he comes in. He's like, all right, so we're gonna have to put a plate in, prep you for surgery. I was like, what? And he's like, you didn't see the X-ray, did you? No. He's like, your pinky toe is 2 centimeters back. You twisted and shattered your 5th metatarsal. It is 180 degrees in the wrong direction. I'm like, holy shit. This is like a week later. I've been walking around on it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I got a plate after that one.
Good times.
Yeah. Hip's good though. But yeah, there's still
incredible.
some like I still have lost feeling, and there's still some paralysis. Like this muscle here doesn't work, so lifting the foot and everything's a little weird and stuff. But yeah, overall, I mean, they did a really good job on me. I'd be dead in the field if it wasn't for those guys.
So you're physically perfect now. Mm-hmm. For now.
Like,
For now.
98%, I'd say.
Yeah, sure. And you made it through COVID. Made it through all those issues. You expanded the operation. You're down there. What is next for
Next
High
was-
Caliber, and what's next for Jordan?
Man, after that, it was a whole lot of learning that sometimes the market makes you think you're better at the things than what you really are. And so, it's I think that's probably one of the hardest things for CEO to delineate is, are we doing the wrong things, or is the market the challenge? And I remember at Bridgestone, I would talk about, they'd have us do business plans. I actually have my 2013 business plan sitting open on my desktop right now because I'm redoing it to give it to my team to have them do what I went through doing that, which is, here's what I'm going to do, here's what it's worth, these are the key steps, these are the metrics along the way. And I remember talking about, there was like a forecasted weather event type of thing. I'm like, well, the weather, this and this. And they're like, weather is not a strategy. And they're like, regardless of what happens there, you are in control of what the results are. So I've always been a very firm believer of like, if the market goes away, if you don't have 100% of the market share, it's not the market that's the problem. It's you. And so, after COVID opened, we blew up. I mean, it was nuts. That expansion was perfectly timed. We won We won 14 awards in 2 years. Like,
wow.
Regional growth. I got Entrepreneur of the Year in Lansing. Established Business of the Year. Small Business of the Year. 50 Companies to Watch. I mean, they were just like, just coming in like crazy. And so I was just drinking my own Kool-Aid of like, I know what I'm doing. And I'm like, I'm putting this person here. We're scaling this. We're doing this. And we went to go acquire a company
I remember listening to another podcast.
Well, it all
You
fell
guys
apart in front of me.
started talking about this.
Yep. We were 3 days away from taking the keys, onboarded the employees into our payroll system. My wife and I were looking to buy a house in that area because we kind of figured we were going to need to and whatnot. And the bank called me up and they like 3x'd what the down payment and everything was going to be. The terms just became pretty much they were like, yeah, we'll back you if you pay for 100% of it in cash. Like it was just nuts pretty much.
Wow.
And I'm like, this is insane. Went to another bank and he was a good friend. We went snowboarding together and whatnot. He's the type of guy that, he'd be honest with me and he called me up. He's like, terms are the same. And I remember being like, what am I missing then?
Yeah.
Banks aren't stupid. What am I missing? And yep, became really clear. My sister company was slowly bleeding the other company dry. And so I had to close down a sister company, a 6-year project of $1.7 million invested into it. I had to shut it all down. So a year ago this Thanksgiving, my wife and I spent together at the business. So nobody was there kind of watching, put the family golden retriever down, threw away about $500,000 worth of inventory just so that nobody else had to see it happen. Fucking incredible experience, still working through some of that stuff with partner disputes and whatnot. But helped me get an understanding that the market really was giving me a false sense of success, and now it's more about priorities. First things first, second things never. And the reason that company wasn't successful, I don't, you define success in different ways, but it didn't continue forward. I got a chance to, I installed a go-kart track in 30 days in Saudi Arabia. They called me up and said, hey, we want a go-kart track. We want to open in 30 days. Can you make it happen? And I just said yes. And put together go-karts, sent them over there, flew over there, lived there for almost 3 weeks, and made it happen. Typically, that's a 9-month process for any professional company that's done it for a long time. And worked with some really incredible people, had some awesome experiences through that. So, if you define success by life experience, that was a wildly successful company. If you define it by monetary success, that was not a wildly successful company. So we, the last year we were there, it was unfortunate. We had really grown. The year before the last one, we had 100x the revenues. It was on an upward trajectory, but we faced some regulatory issues where they had changed out the Wi-Fi frequency bands. I'd built custom circuit boards for this, designed them, had them all printed. I did all the engineering for the wiring harnesses and stuff, and everything but the software. And so that when that RF frequency went away, we became illegal and out of the side of the North America. I was like, okay, so calling up my distributors in Jordan, hey guys, you got to shut down operations. We can't utilize this anymore. And then same day, got a call from the Department of Defense. Hey, did you ship?
Oh no.
Yeah, did you ship to the Middle East equipment that allows peer-to-peer vehicle communication and wireless tracking, 3D asset tracking? It's like, yeah. They're like, hey, don't do that. You just sent things that can be weaponized. I'm like, oh. And I was going through this international, what is it? Whatever. When you're doing sales internationally, it's just a whole different world. It's nuts. Who gets taxed for what? That's a really big question mark that is really difficult to answer. And so that happened, and then the insurance companies, I got a call from, we had just put together a fleet of go-karts with all the systems, and I bought everything up front and was rebilling it over to them. And they called me up and said, the insurance company said if we install this, they're dropping us. This is a business that's been established for over 30 years, and there's not a lot of insurances in this market. They could not buy that product. And I had a contract. I could have enforced that, but these are good people, and they're doing their best. It's not their fault. So I had to take that. That was a $650,000 hit that day.
Wow.
And trying to figure out what to do with the assets. So now I have a system that is no longer feasible outside of the United States. Inside of the United States, regulatory compliance in the insurance industry prevents me from installing it, and I just lost all of our capital. And I'm sitting there with an empty inventory. I was like, it's done. There's nothing we can do. And I tried a few things after that and whatnot, but ultimately the nail in the coffin on it was a partner dispute issue, but for the best, because I was continuing that company forward, not for me, it was for him. I wanted to see it be successful for him to it. But it was really cool, wonderful experience, learned a ton of stuff for it, things that people would never be able to have the opportunity to experience in their life. But I built a lot of really good relationships and got a lot of knowledge in the industry. So now people from all over the world, just this week, I did advisory on a company in Toronto that wants to open basically, I mean, it might even end up being a High Caliber, but they want to open exactly what that is in Toronto. And then we had a group fly from California. They have 2 locations that they want to rebrand it over to, and they wanted to come learn from us. So they met with Zach and Casey. I was like, hey, I'm not coming in. They'll handle it, do the tour and whatnot. So they flew in to learn from them. Every year we host a kart expo. People from all world the world fly in, and they meet the vendors, suppliers. We have educators come in, which is super cool because we can push business to the educators.
Yeah.
But we also get like the best of the best are then able to advise us on what we're doing. So we have, incredibly intelligent people. And when people call us for advice, it's like, oh, I know what you need, and I know the person. Here you go.
Yeah.
So because we were on the manufacturing side of things, we get with those vendors and suppliers where their value is, how they fit into the picture, and all that stuff. So it's really easy for me to identify the alignment and make those connections. So the whole aspect of like a vertical integration or roll-ups, things like that, like I get from the point of what it takes to take the money or, to get the customer to show up in the parking lot.
Yeah.
So, the marketing, how many impressions are, what's the motivators, through the operations process of who greets them, how do they sign up, where are the efficiencies to it, to the maintenance and supply of the facility and the type of leadership you need and the talent acquisition, to the best assets based off of the business brand, all the way to identifying what style, what markets, what type of customer, spend propensity, what margin should be, all that stuff. I've been able to, from start to finish, understand all those things. And we've built a really good team of people. So the Kart Expo now has a board of directors with just some incredibly amazing people that, they're probably only going to be in the industry for less than a decade. They're kind of at the end of their careers with it. And these people are working with me to help me understand how to grow. And in turn, I get to help them grow as well and set them up for success for a succession plan afterwards.
Very cool.
Gives a good opportunity for us.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's awesome. I know you're very involved in. We've actually leaned into some technical learnings from you as it pertains to maybe some Chat GPT agents.
Yeah,
you're wise beyond your years. So, and I know both Tony and Joe left meetings with you being like, "Oh my gosh, we've got to use this. It's awesome."
It's fun.
And it is.
Well, it's always been man
Everything
versus
continues.
machine.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
And machine is just a software now.
Yep. That's very cool.
Man, you've been doing this now for 6 years. Not to mention your business education and life education before that. You've put yourself through a lot, but you put yourself there.
Oh, on
right?
purpose, yeah.
Yeah. In the fire.
Yesterday.
Well, necessity is the mother of all invention, right?
Yeah.
Well, yesterday, one of the guys here at Elma Tire came into my office and he was like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'm like, "Oh, just kind of let out a big sigh," and because I was working on something. He goes, "What are you doing? Taking years off your life, putting yourself through unnecessary, stressful situations?" I said, "No, I'm adding life to my years by putting myself through challenging situations and seeing what I can do with them."
Yep.
But you've been doing the same thing. What are some of the big picture things that you've learned, other than to stay off dirt bikes?
I still get on them.
Or trampolines.
Oh man, that little Razor pocket rocket thing that I put a 3 kilowatt motor in. That thing, you can't keep the front tire off on the ground at like 40 miles an hour, by the way. It's a blast. I'm going to die. But
with 4 M18 batteries?
100%. Yep. Oh,
That's
dude,
awesome.
So we've learned how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else?
Well,
I've got a Lamborghini, kid's Lamborghini.
We can definitely do
conversion
stuff with
kit.
this. You should look up the tiny turbos that we have. It's on the first.
Yeah, I saw it on. Yeah.
Oh, dude, it's insane.
It
There's like
looks
60
sweet.
kids show up with these fully modded out Power Wheels, and like we have a video of one kid just drifting the entire track with these like
So
5.
awesome.
Oh my god,
It's so cool.
But anyways, really cool people in this industry. It's really hard to not really enjoy what's happening. You might not make all the money in the world doing it, but
Yeah.
man, it's good. No, I was actually
Maybe that's a lesson.
Yeah. It really is. I was talking to my wife about this the other day because we're getting ready to move. We're setting up. My daughter's going to be going to high school. We want to make sure that she has the right education. We found the high school that we want her to go to. We found the town we want to go to, and we're figuring out what is that going to look like for that move. And now we have a pretty sweet compound. Like I've got my house, which is a 3,600 square foot shop with a second story offices and my gym and my hoist and my fab work. And like, I get up, I mean, actually this morning, I think I was out there at 3:30 this morning, and it's not because I set an alarm. It's because if you, like, I tell people this all the time. Remember as a kid, you were going to like an amusement park or something like that. And that
The excitement you wake up with and you can't sleep and you're anxious. And,
imagine that every day of your life. Like literally, I'm like, I don't want to be in bed anymore. Like it, for me to go to bed is like a, fine. Like it's
I guess I have to sleep now.
Yeah, like if I didn't have to, I
Science
would.
tells me this is good for me.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably. I think right now I'm like, yeah, maybe I might live to like 43 at this point with the lack of sleep and everything. But it'd be really good last 4 years roughly. But I'm out there and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. You can't hardly keep me from it. And I was like, well, what I've got to do is I've got to not allow myself to do everything. Because now what I have is I have this, we've got land and we've got racetracks on our property and we've got a 4,000 square foot house and I've got
All the possibilities.
And you know what that also turns into? All the responsibility to maintain. And so throughout my life, there's just because I can do it doesn't mean I should. That has been like a big realization for me. And so I caught myself the other day, and I think most people and that probably listen to this podcast can sympathize. I was going to Harbor Freight to pick up something. And when you go into Harbor Freight, if you grab a shopping cart, you're done. Like, it's going to get filled because, like, that's handy. Ooh, that would be helpful.
Go in there. I'm balling on a budget, but I think I need this, actually.
$4.99 for some socket. Yes, for some socket organizers.
Might need
I
a couple
remember
of them.
this one time where I once needed one of those things. I should probably have that for next
They're going
time.
to give me free batteries at
Yeah.
checkout. So.
So I go in there and like, so typically, I'll fill this thing up. And what I caught myself doing was when I go to grab something, I wasn't looking at the price tag. It was like the price tag suddenly had a time tag on it. How much time will it take to actually utilize what this is? And I was like, no. And it was incredible. Like, it wasn't a conscious effort. I went to go grab it was different lights because my shop, there's just some areas that I really don't like the light. And I was like, ooh, I could just grab this light. It's not that expensive. I was like, yeah, but then I got to get the ladder. I got to set up that light, do these things. For what? I have been here for over 10 years and it's been fine. Do I need to do this? And am I going to take the time to go do that? And will it improve it that much? And I was like, and it was amazing how many more things I put on the shelf. And I'm trying to get more intentional about what I do because just because I can do it doesn't mean I should. Mm-hmm. And I have found that there's very few things in the world that I can't do. And that makes it really hard to prioritize because it's like, oh, I can make an impact on that. And a good example of this, so we're taking my shop, we're moved into High Caliber. We have like 2,000 square foot that's just not being utilized. And it's like, all right, most of the work for what I do is at High Caliber anyways. All this equipment goes there. And the intention is then my home is my home. Because if I can, I will do it. I'm really bad about saying no to people. And what I learned is that I'm really good at saying I don't know the answer when I don't. And so my wife taught me this. There was early when we first opened, one of the bartenders came back and said, hey, can you guys grab me until they're busy so we can get started? And Jalissa went, no, I can't. And I was like, oh, wait, why can't you? And she's like, I don't know the code to the safe. I was like, well, here, I'll give you the code. She goes, no, because then it's my job. And it's really easy for me to tell people I don't know. It's really hard for me to tell people, no, I'm too busy for you. So if I don't know, everybody accepts that. And I was like, oh my God, that's powerful. Yeah. So what I'm trying to do now is set myself up. I told my wife when we were talking about moving and everything of where we're going to go to what it looks like. Because where we're going, you either have a like $1.5 million compound or a trailer. There's like nothing between. And I was like, when I was in Grand Ledge, when we first met, I was remodeling a foreclosed house. I was building a race car. I was going to Michigan State University full time. I was a store manager at Firestone. And I was just as happy then working on my race car and my dirt driveway as I am today in my 3,600 square foot shop that is like freaking awesome. Because at the end of the day, I like the challenge. And so if I am burdened by having these tools and resources, my shop is just, once I do welding and fabrication, the dust goes everywhere and I have living space up there and whatnot. Now I got to clean it. And so that's not fueling my life. So why don't I try to bring that down? If I only had a 1,200 square foot shop, I would do 1/3 of the projects, and those projects would be 3 times as important to me. Let's do that. And so everything in my life right now is really just trying to get down to what really matters, because at the end of the day, I made more money at Bridgestone. I was worth more. I'm happier now with less because I'm very intentional about the things that I'm doing and who I'm doing it with. I have the choice. And so I'd say that's the summary of 6-7 years of doing this is like, no matter what comes my way, material, safety, whatever, the best part of it is the relationships and the people I know. And so doing those things with those people, if I have a ton of things that I'm doing, I never get the opportunity to actually do it.
Wow. That's impactful. That's great.
Yes. Good mentors helping me ask the questions.
Yep. And I like that people have pushed you along the way, too.
Yeah, man, I've been
That helps.
lucky with that one, that's for sure.
Well, thank you very much for sharing your story and telling us about the business and about Jordan and your family and the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah, thanks for being those people.
We, man.
Everybody, honestly.
It's great.
Everybody in this room.
TJ's sweet. TJ makes it all happen.
Dude, TJ, you're making me feel like a piece of shit with my podcast and stuff here. So let me show you how it's done. I show up here, I'm like, all right, well, I guess that's just it. First to market's usually not the one that's the best, right?
TJ's got big plans. Big plans.
Doing a good job, man. It's cool.
Yep.
No, thank you. I mean, and I just want to say thank you for everything. I mean, the friendship that we've been able to enjoy, I appreciate it so much. And I mean, you were like probably the first person really that opened my eyes to thinking bigger and seeing that possibilities are out there. And no, you shouldn't chase after every single one, but just because you're in some certain situation doesn't mean you have to stay there. Mm-hmm. And generally, what it takes is just having the vision and then doing the work,
actually moving,
executing.
Yeah, go into the gym. The hardest part about it is showing up.
Yeah,
it's not the workout. Showing up.
But yeah, man. No, you've had a huge impact on me and my life, and I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you coming up today.
Yeah, happy. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's all we've got for you today. We really hope you enjoyed the conversation. If you want any other information about our guest, check out the links in the description below. As always, we're on a journey to glorify the American worker, and we hope to see you out there.